Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is Rev Trev. So glad that you're here. Man, it's September, and you know what that means. School's back in. There's new routine, new stuff going on. NFL starting, and it also means that hockey's right around the corner. But before we get to the preseason, before we get to training camp, there is a significant tournament that's happening called the Young Stars Classic. Now, I have a special place in my heart for this tournament because I have been to it many, many times, and I have absolutely loved it. So today we're going to do a little bit of story time with Rev Trev regarding the Young Stars Classic, but I'm also surprised that the rosters have not been put out for these teams. So Calgary, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Vancouver have all their young stars that come, and basically it's anyone who is not playing for the NCAA will be there at that tournament usually. And so I've got lots of cool stories. But before we dive into that, hit that like and subscribe. Listen, I love it when people comment. So you're already watching. Why don't you comment? If you've been there, if you're going, I'd love to hear that story or that you're heading there. And then, of course, hit that subscribe button. Do the Rev Trev hat trick. Okay. All right. So, listen, I've been going since, I think it's 2013. I have seen all the young guys for us play. I've seen them. There's something different about going and seeing them live and against their peers. And there's been some really good players. Like Calgary, I saw Johnny Gaudreau play there. I've seen Sam Bennett play there. I've watched Ehlers from Winnipeg play there. There's just been some really good players over the years. But for Vancouver, Brock Besser has been there, and of course, right, Bo Horvat, I've seen him play. I saw Levy play there. And can I just tell you something? By the way, we also had Chatfield. Is it me, or is that the same guy that's in, I believe, Carolina? Like, did we not majorly fail on letting him go if that's the same guy? But correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But there's Breezeball was there, all those guys. And Levy, he wasn't good when he was healthy. I was so concerned. When we passed up on Tkachuk, and I know that's a real sore spot for a lot of us Canucks fans, I was not impressed. I was like, this guy is not as dynamic as I was expecting. Because when I did see, like, when the Horvats were there and the Johnny Gaudreaus, like, you were like, this guy is special. Like, you can tell on the ice, there's just a difference between him and everyone else. And so I got the opportunity to go to these games with my friends, with my kids, my two boys. I had so much fun with my friends and my boys there. And there was just a special buzz in the building. Now, I loved watching Demko then. He was really good even then, and made me fall in love with that pick even more. And so I'm personally pumped about this season's Young Stars Classic, and I'm looking forward to what our roster looks like, what we're going to do there. I'm wondering who we're going to have in net. In fact, I know one of the kids who has been asked to play for the Edmonton Oilers. He lives in the same town as us, and I know him. I talked to him this summer. I just really hope that Joey gets a chance to shine at that tournament for Edmonton. Joey Rocha is a great guy. So yeah. Anyways, want to tell you a cool story though about McDavid. McDavid was going to play, and he was only played one game in the Young Stars tournament. He got drafted number 1 overall by the Edmonton Oilers. We all know the story. And I had gotten tickets. I had gotten 2 tickets for a game for games. They have 2 games in a day, and I got the one. I think it was the Jets and the Flames were first, and then the Edmonton Vancouver game was that night, and it happened to be the only game that McDavid played. So I got to watch McDavid in the Oilers jersey for the first time. I thought that was pretty special. So him and Jake Virtanen, I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, Jake Virtanen, like, really? Like, and Jake actually played pretty good in that tournament, and I mean, he got drafted high, so Calgary Hitman player. We had a lot of high hopes from him. Unfortunately, didn't turn out and pan out for us, but he had a really good tournament. In fact, I met Jake Virtanen and got a picture with him. I think I'm going to post it in one of these places here for you so you can see. Speaking of people that I've met at that tournament, this is where I met Trevor Linden and have had such a great experience. Real quick encounter with him. Got a picture with him. And the real deal, like what everyone says about Trevor Linden is absolutely true. Genuinely nice guy. Took time with us fans. Appreciate that. I also saw Joe Sakic there as well. Got a picture with him. I mean, there's some pretty neat moments at those tournaments, not only with friends and with family and watching those players, but seeing some of those people that we grew up watching. That was pretty special. So let's go back to McDavid. McDavid was the real deal. He was special on the ice. You could see it from day one. And here's the thing. He was fast. Now, I know that doesn't surprise anyone that I say that, but he was fast. But there was a moment in the game, and I tell everyone this story. So McDavid's coming around on the boards, and Virtanen comes aside, and Virtanen was known as a hitter, and he levels McDavid. Like, oh my goodness, it was massive. I'm going to put the video in the comments. You've got to watch it, or in the description, I should say. You've got to watch it. Absolutely levels him. And the moment, because there was more Oilers fans in the Penticton building. By the way, it's a beautiful, beautiful stadium if you haven't been there. But levels McDavid, and one of the fans behind us, Canucks fans, yells out, "Suck it, McDavid!" And my son thought that was the funniest thing. He'd never been to a live sporting event where he heard someone trash talking the other team. And it was so fun and so hilarious. I just had a blast at that game watching one of the great players. And in fact, I think he's the best player on the planet right now. And that was so good. But you know what's interesting about that game that nobody really talked about is that Draisaitl also played in that game. And I have a picture of Draisaitl. So I got to see Draisaitl and McDavid before they were like, you know, I mean, they were all big time. But that's pretty special. So I'm excited about that. People don't really talk enough about the Young Stars Classic. I just think it's a really special tournament. It's cool. And back in the day, it used to be San Jose used to show up as well. But they just kept it to the four Canadian teams, the four Western Canadian teams. So super interesting. Now, in the comments, please post if you've been to some of these games, what some of your memories are about that. Or if you're going, please post it in the comments. But I cannot wait to talk about the rosters. I can't wait to see some of these guys in action. Some of our young stars are going to be there. I mean, a lot of our young stars are going to be there and playing in that. So I'm pumped. I hope you're pumped. Season's right around the corner, people. It's time to get ready for hockey, get pumped about hockey. There's going to be lots of content coming out. So smash that like and subscribe button. And thanks so much for watching. Go Canucks, go.